Hello and welcome to SingleSexy&Sixty. I'm your host, Julie Swartz, and I'm so glad you're with us today. Oh, and welcome to SingleSexy&Sixty. Today, I have the incredible privilege of speaking with Maureen Meehan, the Honorable Maureen Meehan, who is a Superior Court judge in Orange County. And she's the author of many books, many true crime novels, as well as the most recent 60 Dates in 6 Months that I had the privilege of going to the movie premiere, which is an incredible movie. And I can't wait for you all to see it and to talk to Maureen about this book and how it came to be. So, welcome, Maureen.
Thank you. It's my privilege to be here. Thank you so much. So, 60 dates in 6 months with a broken neck. So, I have crafted 25 novels in the course of 30 years. Uh, but so I took some of my legal thrillers in the Mary McIntosh series to London Book Fair in March of 24. And I had just started dating again after being a widow of 10 years. And so I had all of my notes with me. I'm about to board the plane, and I'm kind of thinking about re-entry and what dates I have coming up when I get back. And I started reading through my notes and going, this is super funny. Because every bad date that I went on, which was a lot, I gave the person a nickname.
So,
Like,
did you have like a
don't,
notebook that you were keeping notes of everybody?
yeah.
And
In
was
fact,
that your
it's
intention when you started dating? Like, I'm just going
no,
to do this?
absolutely not. I took the notes just to keep track of everybody.
Okay, okay.
I had no intention of writing a book about this. And then all of a sudden it dawned on me, this is hilarious. So, I mean, chapter titles, don't tell me what to do, you're not my cat. Um, some guy who commented that he didn't think I was worthy of a particularly challenging hike after I broke my neck, which I fully was willing and able to do. Shiver Me Timber is a guy on Catalina that has allegedly had a boat but wanted me to take the express over there. Just funny uh, nicknames for these guys. Defunct dentist, which you saw him in the movie when you find out
Uh-huh.
that he's no longer a practicing dentist for ethical violations. I mean, all these things that actually happened in the course of this dating experience of 60 dates in 6 months. But I didn't go into it with the to write satire. I went into it to try to find love again, and what I found out there was quite shy of it. Um, Ghosting, catfishing. I would. There were dates I showed up, mostly hiking dates. I would walk right past the guy because he looked nothing like his pictures. And so we portray that in the movie somewhat in a really funny way. Um, th- like
Yeah.
one
Did
guy
you
who
have
was
a specific type or a checklist when you were going, when you were picking who you would go out with?
I don't have a type.
Okay.
So I dated all races. Like 31 is not the new 51 is Persian. Um,
Yeah.
the French sushi was an African American man. So I mean, I don't have a type for looks. I do have five criteria for dating. Uh, Faith, family, friendship, financial responsibility, and respect. So, and you fail on any one of those, you're out. So, so there's a big, when you're going through it and vetting all these people, if they don't make the checklist, you don't even date them. But
Right. Yeah.
and you're trying to date. It is just really dark. The dating pool is shallow,
Yes.
um,
I love the
and
dating pool analogy that
murky.
you used. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So the once we adapted it and did casting, the casting went so well, as you could see from watching the movie and being with cast and crew at our premiere Wednesday night. We casted well. I thought everyone really fit their parts well, and after casting, we started filming, and we filmed a 15-day shoot on my budget. I'm the executive director of the uh, or producer, I should say, of the movie, and we all lived in my house for 15 days immersively. So we got to know each other well, and it was super fun to do. It was hectic, no doubt, but there were mattresses everywhere, and it's just a mess when you have that many people. But it was a blast, and
It's
the
very
movie,
cool.
I
I
think,
can see them
you know,
like you would bond and you would probably would get into the acting would be better because you were so bonded. Yeah.
We were really bonded. We all became very good friends. And I think it showed at the premiere. We just were so excited to be reunited after, you know, we finished shooting July 12th, and most of us haven't seen each other really a whole lot since.
Oh,
And
wow.
so it was
Yeah.
great to see everyone again.
How long
So,
did it take to make the movie?
well, we filmed it in 15 days, but if you want to do start to end, we started casting. I adapted it in March, cast it in May, filmed June, July, and went into post-production at the end of July. We were still doing sound mixing and color grading in November. Finished it in December, but we'd already sold it. I had got my distribution partner in the end of October. So
Amazing. I can't believe you shot that in like 2 months. It is amazing. It's amazing. I can't believe that.
yeah, we did. We worked very, very hard, long days, but we did it. It's a great film, and it was picked up by Byron Allen's Freestyle Digital Media Distribution, which is one of the biggest in the United States and Canada. And so their press release goes out next month announcing the platforms, and then we will follow suit with a press release letting everyone know when they can start streaming it in mid-April of this year. So pretty much within 1 year, that's a fast turnaround for Hollywood production. Uh,
Yes.
Most of them take years. The
Right.
Devil Wears Prada 2 comes out May 1st. That's been in the works for years with Wendy Finnerman production. So I know that we did it quickly, and I'm really grateful to be in the scope of Byron Allen because he's probably one of the biggest media moguls in the business. So we have a great platform, and it's going to be very exciting. So
Incredible.
pivoting, I think we talked a little bit beforehand. When I took the book to Los Angeles Festival of Books in April of 24, I took a bookmark with a QR code saying, "Tell me your worst date." And I got hundreds of emails from people from 80-year-old women to 18-year-old boys, everything in between. So I have two sequels to the book as well called Let Me Be and Push You Away. And so we are in talks to create a series out of this dating series. So that's
That's how
that's
I
fun.
felt. Yeah, when I saw the movie, I'm like, this should be a series because I didn't want the movie to end because there were so
Yeah.
many fun things in it. This just needs to keep going. And it sounds like it might. Yeah.
Yes. And so then we have right now I'm in the negotiation to sell my Mary McIntosh legal thriller series, starting with Dying to Ski and ending with Kill Kit. There's 19 books in this series. I've been writing it for a long time, and the company that's the most interested in it did Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone. So my novels are all based in Wyoming, where I was born and raised. So Wyoming is a big character. So very much like Montana, Yellowstone for Taylor Sheridan, mine are Wyoming, and it's a female protagonist, prosecuting attorney. So you have a strong female lead in Wyoming, and I think it's going to be a great series. We're thinking about 8 seasons long because there's so much content, all based in true crime.
You're
I write
incredible.
in true crime, and I actually started writing 30 years ago when my legal secretary in Orange County was murdered. It was horrible. So her estranged husband snuck back in their place, and her children from a previous marriage were there. They were 8 and 6 at the time. And he stabbed her to death on a Saturday morning while the children were watching cartoons. And it was totally foreseeable. I'd warned her, I'd given her a key to my apartment. I was going out of town for the week. I was very nervous for her. He was unpredictable, but predictably unpredictable, unstable. And he stabbed her to death. And I started writing the Mary McIntosh series to keep Lisa alive. That's how the writing started. I went back into creative writing program at UCI and wrote my first novel, Dying to Ski, with her as a defense lawyer at first. She was young, and then she matriculates over the course of 30 years, maybe gets married, gets divorced, has children. So she's a really well-developed character. That's the most feedback I get when people read the Mac series is, and that's I think what we're going to be calling it for the streaming series is Mac. So
Sounds so
that's
cute. Yes.
very exciting right now. And then the same cast and crew, we're doing the prequel called Single Mom, No Manual Included. And Single Mom is the time during her grieving. where she meets parents in grief therapy, and they're all exchanging funny parenting stories. So I wrote Single Mom last year by crowdsourcing it on social, saying, "Tell me your funniest or worst parenting story." And I got hundreds of emails again. And so I include my own. It's really funny stuff. All the calamities of trying to
Oh,
raise
yes.
kids, being a working mom, and things that go wrong, and you
Right.
just go, "Oh, good Lord." So stay tuned. We're going to be hopefully filming that at the end of the summer after the movie's released, and I'm done negotiating the Max series deal. And that's what's next.
So did you start writing as a kid? Did you love writing?
I started writing in the third grade, doing journaling, diary. I had a diary, and then poetry. So Henry Wadsworth Longfellow was my favorite poet, and I love poetry. So I started writing poems. So a lot of my poems are in my books, in my Max series books.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool. Yeah.
yeah, actually, in Let Me Be, one of my dating ones, I wrote a poem to my daughter because at first she was very reluctant to my dating atmosphere, but she warmed up to it over time as she got older and started dating herself. So, it's hard to be single and eating meals alone, as you know, instead of
Right. Yes. Yeah,
yeah,
and being a widow, because we were both in that same where we were both a widow and a divorcee, right? So, um,
right,
I was raising my kids. We were a little backwards. I raised my kids at 2 and 5. Their father passed away, so I had about 7 years there where I was raising them by myself and having a full-time job, and how hectic that was and crazy and all that stuff you
yeah,
share. And then I got married again, thinking I was meeting somebody who was going to be a good father figure to them because they were getting those teenage years.
yeah.
And, um, it worked out for a little while. And then, all the crazy stories that you hear are like, I can't stand this marriage anymore. So that's what happened to my marriage. And then found myself 60 and single. And then,
And beautiful. You are very
oh,
beautiful.
oh, you're so kind. Thank you. Thank you. But yes, it's not fun out there. And trying to do this dating thing is but at every age, I think with their experience.
From that crowdsourcing QR code, I found in my two sequels that it's every age. So I mean, I got stories from people from every age range explaining the difficulty of their experience, and men and women. And I got equal about a feedback from men about dates that they'd gone on, or you know, one guy
Right.
is actually a friend of mine. He took this woman on a date, and took her to a nice restaurant, and she ordered not only steak and lobster for herself and an expensive bottle of champagne, but she ordered to go a steak lobster dinner for her daughter. So the bill was like $500 for a date that he didn't enjoy and knew he wasn't going to go out with her again. So he was like, this was ridiculous and egregious. You know,
Yes, yes, yeah.
I had a one gal write that she met this man at a restaurant in Newport Coast, a nice restaurant. And again, they ordered well and were having a nice time. The date was going great. The bill came, and all of a sudden, he was like a pterodactyl. He'd forgotten his wallet. So she paid the bill, and then she never heard from him again. So she's like, I had a $400 bill on my hands, and at worst, we should have split it, you know?
Right. Yes, yeah.
And so, or at best, whatever, going Dutch is fine. But yeah, just it's tough out there.
So what advice would you give? I mean, because you've gone above and beyond most of the people I've talked to, or even my friends, like, and I'm going to find somebody and this is what I'm going to do. And I just love the way you did this. But what advice would you give somebody?
Well, I probably went on closer to 1,500 dates when it all was said and done. Mostly hiking. So hiking, I was often scheduled 2 a day. So I went into it with purpose. I had very specific dating criteria that I vetted beforehand. And I like to hike date because then you're moving, so you're thinking. It's healthy. You can see if they're fit because fitness is important to me. I'm very active. And I just think that on a public trail, beautiful beach trail, You're surrounded by other people. You're not locked in. If
Right.
it's not
Smart.
going well, you can cut a date short, which I did a number of times. And you saw in the movie Hair Sniffer. I mean, I literally that pheromone weirdo, I cut the date short because he was sniffing my hair. It was gross. I just met
Did
him.
you cut the, wait, how did you do that?
I just faked getting a phone call from my friend Jody and then faked an
Oh, okay.
emergency. And I said I have to go. My friend needs something. So I did that a number of times. I went on a date with Little Black Dress, LBD, which you saw in the movie as well. And he he was super impolite. Like he did say exactly that. It was a cold night outside at a bar. We were meeting for drinks, and he's like, "Where's your LBD?" He didn't even say hello first. And I'm like, my little black dress, it's freezing out. I was wearing cute clothes,
Yeah.
but it was just, there was some really, so when he went to the restroom, I paid the bill and left. But I walked into one bar to meet a guy for a drink. He didn't look anything like himself, so I just turned around and walked out. And I know and I sent him a text saying, listen, you don't look like your pictures, and I don't have a lot of time on my hands to waste. And
Good for
I was
you.
honest and direct. And I highly recommend being very honest, transparent, direct, and don't waste your time. Don't try to get a square peg in a round hole if it's
Yeah.
not going to work. And I think people do that out of loneliness. They
Yes,
settle,
it's true. Yes, yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then you end up divorced again. And then
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather be alone than in a bad relationship. And I think most people would probably agree.
Right. Yes. Either be in a relationship where you're in a relationship and lonely and frustrated, or just be alone. Then you're only one out of the three or four. Yeah, I agree with that completely. You know what
Yeah.
I loved about the movie, and I can tell this about you, that I feel like you don't take yourself too seriously too. Like you went into these and you're like, okay, I'm not gonna take it too. I like you took it seriously, but not too seriously. Like you could laugh about it, and
I think sense of humor is key.
yeah,
That's why I gave every guy a nickname. It's funny, and it enhances your reading experience, and then the movie experience. We used little post-it notes to say what the sun worshiper or the hair sniffer, and I think it gives it perspective of humor. Um, which is, I think, why one of the reasons it won the Eric Hoffer Award, because it's very soulful in the prologue about losing my husband, soulmate, how hard it was on the children, and being very honest about that process. And then going into the dating, thinking, oh, I haven't dated in so many years that, now you're doing it on apps, and it's
right.
just swipe this, that, and the other. It's just such a bizarre experience. So I did go into it with a really good sense of humor. And I mean, sometimes we'd have to cut, like the boot scene when we were filming it. We had to cut because we were all laughing so hard. The
So
actor
fun.
who Mike, the actor who played Leave the Boots On, oh my God, we were dying. He was so funny. It's so we had a lot of fun making this movie, and the part where I break my neck is hard to watch for me
Yes.
because that was
Yeah.
a what happened was I had um, come down to my kitchen to get something to eat. It was really pretty early in the morning, and I am fused. My entire spine is fused from scoliosis over the years since I was a kid. I've
Okay.
had five back surgeries over the course since I was 11, really debilitating scoliosis. And so when I reached for the refrigerator door and I just missed, my spine's really heavy. So I fell straight backwards, uh, and I broke my neck. And I woke up about an hour later. It knocked me out. I had a brain bleed. Uh, and I lost the use of my right arm with severe spinal injury. So it took me about an hour and a half to climb up my staircase to get my phone, which was upstairs on my nightstand, to call 911. I lived alone. And um, it was a really terrifying experience. So that part of the movie, to watch it, uh, was it's hard. And I did, in fact, go down the staircase head first because I didn't have the use of my arm, and I didn't want to fall, and my leg was, kind of weird too. And I did lose my pajama bottoms on the way. So that part's hilarious, but it's actually authentic. It happened.
Authentic, yes. Oh my gosh. When I saw that part of the movie, I thought that's how it is like when we're alone and we don't have a partner and we don't have somebody there. And it's just kind of scary and sad. And not only when something bad happens to you, but just when you go through traumatic things, which we do at this stage in our life too, we lose friends or parents and things like that, that we don't have a partner to be there for us. And for me,
Yeah.
I want a partner for sure. I don't like,
Oh, yeah. I
yeah.
think most people do. Um, I have a lot of friends who've given up, though, at this age, at 60, just going, you know what? I tried in my 50s and it was awful out there, and I just don't want to try anymore.
Yeah.
And there is that sense of, am I ever going to meet anybody great? And it's, as you know, it's hard.
Yes. Yeah. So your friend in the movie that her husband was cheating on her, are they divorced now or
Um, I have a number of friends who've had that
who've had that
experience.
experience? Yeah.
Um, so yes,
Yes.
I have a couple of friends who went through that, and watching how hurt that, how that hurtful process is terrible.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And it happens a lot. It's not just men who cheat, it's women too. But yeah, it was just so yes, that pretty authentic. And
Yes.
my friends from Australia, the story is
Uh-huh.
true. I set them up on a blind date 37 years ago, when we were in graduate school together, maybe longer, gosh. And they eloped, and she moved from San Diego to Australia, and that's where she is to this day.
That's awesome. Yeah. And are they, well, I'm not gonna say
They're
anything.
yeah, they're doing they
Yes.
have two adult children. They're wonderful people. So, and they have a very solid marriage.
Yeah. I was curious if, your friend ended up getting divorced because her husband was cheating on her, if your, dating experience inspired her to maybe do something similar, or if I mean, she may still be grieving right now, but if your story has inspired other people to do this, how you did it.
Well, women empowerment is an important
Yes.
subject.
Yeah.
My publicist, who was there, is female. My agents are female. I like to work with women. I like to promote women. And so women empowerment is important. And I think women friendships are critical.
Yes.
We need each other when things, for good and bad, when things go poorly, we need to rely on one another. And uh, I've had friends who had that experience and how hard it is. I've also had friends who've had that experience and stayed together, and forgiveness. So,
Yeah.
um,
Oh, that's
eh,
that. Yeah.
yeah, it's just a matter of, the handle it how it's best for you and your as a couple, but it's not easy stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Very hurtful.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm glad you enjoyed the movie. I'm glad you were able to attend. We really had a great turnout, and it was fun. The Rivian Theater is beautiful, isn't it? In
Yes,
downtown
yes.
Laguna.
Oh, and then that the color of that one car, the purple color, was so beautiful. I'm like, I love that car.
Yeah, they've really they took that property that was really dilapidated and gutted it and put a lot into it. And so they host community events constantly for free. And I just
Oh,
think Rivian it's a really well-run organization, and working with them was nothing but a pleasure. So
yeah, it was a wonderful setting. It was so comfortable and yeah, everything was perfect. Yeah, everything was perfect.
yeah, a little shout out. I had Nirvana Grill, my friend Chef Lindsay. That charcuterie board is actually mine that she made. And so I had her cater the charcuterie. Wasn't that beautiful?
Oh, yeah, the way they did the roses with it was beautiful. Yeah. So everything
Yeah, everything was a really beautiful event.
over the
And
top.
so Caitlin Chestnut, who plays me in the movie, was our bartender that night. So everyone got to have some bubbles and enjoy themselves before and after. And she actually is my roommate. She
Oh,
moved
nice.
into my home in November, so she lives here.
Oh, good. Well, that's nice too. Yeah, have somebody, a friend there too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was trying to get caught up with, it's hard because Hollywood hasn't been making a lot of movies ever since the Palisades fire. And
right. Yeah.
so it's harder to get work. So she's living here and saving up some money.
She is great. Her personality just shines through in that movie, and she's an incredible actress. So,
She really is a talented woman, and I thought she portrayed me very well. She understood the humor, and she also understood the sadness. I mean, she was just going through a breakup of a long-term relationship based on cheating when she was auditioning. And I think she brought that to to the movie. She brought the depth of despair of like when Goodbye Coffee, kind of
yes,
says I'm
yeah,
dating other people, um, to the and the tears. I think that was genuine. Being at the cemetery, her first husband passed away after they were divorced, but still, I mean, he did pass. And
yeah,
so she suffered that kind of loss. And so I think she brought it to the
she did.
stage and she did a really great job. Her performances were awesome.
Yes, because we did. We laughed and we cried when we watched that movie. It was so great. Um, One thing in the movie, you mentioned that you are friends with some of these men that you dated, and what does
Most
that
of
look
them.
like? Most of
So I
them.
just had
Okay.
Goodbye Coffee. His real name is Sal. Sal and I just had lunch a month ago. We remained friends. A lot of them I remained friends with. All dressed up with nowhere to go. He ghosted me on a no-show. I wrote a letter recommendation for his daughter to go to college, and we still every now and then meet if up in Corona Del Mar for a drink or what have you. So I think I stayed friends with 80% of them. There were a few that absolutely not, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But it's nice to end on a high note, just saying, we're not for each other, we're not a good fit, but let's stay friends. And there's beauty in that.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know how you have time for any of this. You're writing these books, and yeah. So,
I had 16 court hearings today already.
oh my gosh, yeah. How do you do it? Yeah.
So, as a mental health court judge, um, the scenarios surrounding the people that are appear before me in our collaborative court, I feel for them. So I think empathy is part of my job. It's a requirement, but it also, I think we brought it into the movie as well. Just the empathy of friendship, how important it is to have really close friends that encourage you or let you cry on their shoulder or whatever, and everything in
Yes.
between. And we wanted to show that sisterhood. I think Adrian and Catherine and uh, Caitlin did a good job bringing that importance of adult women friendships, you know, to the screen because it does matter. I know you have good friends that you heavily rely on you
Yes.
know,
Yes. Yes.
to confide in, especially if you don't have a partner. And
Yeah.
it's important to have somebody.
Yeah. I feel very blessed that I do have good friend groups, and yeah, very blessed with that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm
So what
excited
made you start doing this podcast?
because I was just curious, like, what does this look like at 60 years old? I never thought I would be out there on my own at 60. I thought I'd be a grandma, rocking grandbabies and moo or whatever. Never thought. And I wanted to hear what people had to say. Like, how are you dealing with this? What's your experience like? And um, I've learned a lot just by talking with people, and people want to share their stories too, which is fun. So I'm hearing so many different stories. Their dating stories are fun and sad, and all that. And um, so the more I talk to people, the more I learn. And I, like you say, I'm feeling empowered. I'm feeling good about where I'm at now, where I'm still kind of scared, but I was scared. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in this space. But the marriage was bad and I couldn't stay in the marriage.
Yeah, but I think it's therapeutic to talk about it with other people,
Yes. Yeah.
confide in it with other people. I will tell you that my grief therapist, I mean, she changed my perspective on letting go. And letting go doesn't necessarily mean death. It could be divorce, it could be
Right.
all
Yes.
kinds of those things.
Yeah.
But it takes time to grieve, and everyone grieves in their own fashion and timeline. But I had carried my husband's ashes around with me for 9 years. I spread little bits of them all over the world. Every trip I went on, I was always in my purse, my backpack. And she, as part of my grief therapy in our last session, encouraged me to write him a love letter, put it in the urn, take the ashes, and spread them once and for all. And so I in fact, did that, and I stopped crying after that. It was a really therapeutic shift in my grieving process, allowing me to try to date again. But, not, it's, it's okay to let go. No,
Yes, yeah, yeah,
and of course, you're always going to love. It's just holding on to it doesn't allow you to go into the space of a new relationship. And that's kind of where I was stuck. So, so even in divorce, you do have to grieve it and then let it go so that you can be open and not,
yes.
repeat the
Open to
same
mistakes.
mistakes.
Yeah, yeah, that too. Yes, yeah,
And owning what was wrong, owning what was right, but also owning what was wrong because
yeah.
the process is really challenging.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There's a Christian author, Lisa Turquoise, that shared that in her divorce. She goes, I kind of had like this funeral for that relationship. And that allowed her to move on because she had the little funeral kind of like, because
Yeah.
if you're in a divorce, I think, and you still have that person in your head, it's you think, well, should I go back to that? Like, no, because it's not healthy. It's not serving me. And that way it enables you to kind of move on by having that little funeral, which I liked that concept.
I like that too. The father of my children, we divorced a long time ago. We're still really good friends. We went on a ski trip as a huge family, modern family in December. We do that almost every year, but anytime the kids are home, he comes over with his new wife and we all have dinner. And I, I also like when people co-parent well after a divorce for
Yes.
the sake of
Yeah.
the children. I think it shows growth and maturity to put that behind you and co-parent well. And I love the fact that I'm friends with my ex and that we do stuff together. It's made the children just I think so much more at ease around both of us at the same time. So I
Right.
do encourage that with people to, you know, I did divorce cases back in the day, long, long, long time ago. And I always encouraged both my client and the other client to hang on, sorry, to co-parent well together.
Yes. Yeah. If you have kids, I think that's the only way to do it, because if there's tension, it's not healthy for the kids at all. Yeah. So it's the best you can. I agree with that completely. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people put their kids in the middle of it as
Yeah.
pawns, and how I think the damage is significant when you do that sort of a thing. I have a very good friend that went through a very, very messy divorce, and each of them were using the kids. And the kids are older, not dating, not adjusted well because they went through such a gnarly divorce
Yeah.
experience through their
Yeah.
parents. So I think that perspective is pretty important when it comes to, relationships in general. To when I told you my top 5 things when I dating, the last one was respect. Even through the process of divorce, respect is important. It's important to all relationships. And um, I do think that parameter should stay in place if possible.
Right. Now, what if
Unless there's
you're,
abuse or something like that. If
yeah,
someone's abusive, that's a different boundary. But
what if your new partner had issues with you being friendly with your ex?
um, that's a him problem. That would be a
Huh.
him problem.
Uh-huh.
Uh, it because I don't like jealousy. I don't think it has a place at the table. I think it just causes conflict. And I the fact that you see how my 4 adult kids have turned out to be wonderful human beings, I
Yes.
think the proof is in the pudding on that. That I'm still friends with their father because it helped them, you know, achieve, grow, succeed. So I that would be a him problem, and he would have to get over it.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. That's good. Yeah, I've had a couple people that have talked to me about that, where their new partners have jealousy or whatever it is, and yeah, how they deal with that. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I just um you know, I would want my partner to be friends with the mother of his children. In fact,
yes.
in a dating scenario, there was a gentleman I dated this last year that on our not our first date, our second date, he talked very negatively about both of his ex-wives, and they each gave him two children. So these four children, he talked so negatively about both of these women that I didn't date him again. I was really
Oh,
uncomfortable about it, and I thought it was disrespectful of her, both of them. And I mean, he's the common denominator. You might want to look in the
yeah,
mirror.
exactly. Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So,
Well, this
but
was so wonderful, and I'm honored that you took the time to spend this hour with me or however long it's been. And
sure.
I'm really looking forward to what people have to share after they see your movie to share their story. Tell me your date that you went on, or even before you see the movie, share now, and I can forward them to you. Uh,
That'd be super. Yeah,
yes,
so 60 dates in 6 months. It will be on major streaming services mid-April. We will be making an announcement next month, and you got to see it first. It's a really darling rom-com, and I think your viewers will love it.
yes, I'm so excited for you all to see it. So I'm going to say goodbye and thank you again to Maureen here. So
Thanks,
goodbye.
Julie.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.